Hi all, welcome back to more Combat Commander. Using James Watton's solo digital bot, playing scenario 1, Fat Lip K. This is my part 10. I missed out yesterday, I didn't get to the table at all. There's a few things happening, so just try to catch up there. It is the Russians to go next. We're nearing the end of this, we're at the sudden death marker. Right, a couple of things just to talk about. First of all, I ended that last part discussing the fact that I seem to miss when I use that sustained fire, checking for doubles. And I think I've probably missed looking at it every time I've done it. I did check back on, certainly one of them I caught, I think it was a 10 and it was a 6 and a 4, it wasn't a double. That's what I've watched up to now. Now I haven't watched back part 9 yet. But I've watched everything else, yeah. I forgot part 9 was there actually, because it was still on the camera. I just left it on the camera the night before. And I forgot it was there. So I haven't watched back that, but anyway. Okay, and then I also left things at the end of the last part saying that James had come back and answered my question and had agreed that the concealment action should affect all units in the hex. However, he then sort of changed his mind, but without messing about. He understands that the rules are, you would put a concealment, it would affect all the units in the hex. However, the way his bot plays out, you click for each defense roll and there's a chance of concealment on each click. So it could end up being on the second unit that you're checking. So he's then came back and said that he thinks he'd rather have it that way. I can't mind his wording exactly. Now, it was Hal that brought this to his attention, although I was asking the question initially about, but Hal felt quite strongly about the fact that he had a theme for it that was, he wrote it down that it's as if one unit's not seen the fire and one has, and then is duck for cover, if you like. I suppose, again, it's the way the concealment action is actually dealt with. It affects the actual firepower of the attacking units. It doesn't change the defence. I mean, it changes the defence rolls, yeah, but it doesn't, it's the way it's dealt with that makes it sound like, well, surely it should affect both units because it's affecting the firepower. But then the word concealment means you've hidden yourself somehow, so it really does feel like thematically it should be, as Hal says, one's duck for cover, one's not being able to, sort of thing. So yeah, that does all make sense. So anyway, like I say, with James, well, maybe I should get his actual word in. Hang on. Right, so let's just quickly go through this then. I suppose I don't really need to be going through all, but so this was my question. Hi again, James. Regarding the concealment action, when there are more than one unit in a hex under fire, was your intention to only have the concealment affecting the unit that it was drawn for? Maybe that's not explaining it properly. Yeah, I felt like I wasn't really getting around, so I tried again. Let me try this. If the first unit's defence roll does not include a concealment, but the second unit's defence roll does, should it benefit only the second unit, or should it benefit both units as it affects the firepower of the attacker? So yeah, I think my second half of that sort of got the question across. And this guy came back, Cyrus the Great, says, I can't speak to, I think I commented on this, I can't speak to how at some point in the CC bot, but concealment says it reduces the attack total, so concealment would benefit all defending units. Yeah, and then he goes on about talking about spray fire, but I'm not going into that. But yeah, I mean that's why I think you should look. Even if you had 3 units in the hex, you should roll for all 3, check if any of them get in concealment, then take the concealment into consideration. Hal was, well, actually, maybe get to what Hal says further on here. Says, yeah, thanks, this was my take on it too, but just wanted to check in with James to see if he had other ideas on how it should work with a bot. This was more what I was asking, because, well, I'll get to it, because the big change that he made, well, I say it's a big change that he made to digital bot is probably the opportunity fire. But I say it's a big change, but when you actually think about it, it's maybe not, but I'll come back to that. That's somebody getting something wrong. Russ correcting it. And yeah, so he says, so this is James' reply. He says, yeah, I would treat it the same. Reduce the attack total as normal. So he is saying there that we consider any concealment drawn for any unit in the hex and reduce the attack total to affect all the units. He's not, the way he's worded that, but I mean, I think that's clear. So I say, okay, James, thanks. So Hal steps in. May I ask the question this way? There are 2 units in the same hex under fire. You roll defensively for the first bot unit, and there is no concealment as a result of the digital defensive roll. Yeah. The bot unit is eliminated. Well, okay. I suppose the way Hal's doing it, the order is that, yeah, that's then the defense roll. You've done that for that. You're eliminating the unit. So I suppose this is what he's saying here. It sounds like you're having to go backtrack, bring the unit back out of the casualty track and deal with it. But, I mean, you know, you can sit there and do the defence rolls and then make your decision. That's how I've been doing it. But however, he's right in what he's saying. That the rule would be that you would roll on it, remove it, go on to the next roll and whatever. So he says you roll for the second unit, bot unit, digitally, and concealment comes up. Do you go back and retroactively reinstate the first unit because the concealment modifier had been applied in the first roll? For the first unit, it would not have been eliminated. Thanks, James. Well, that's in a different way. Well, that's what I was asking, really. It was the same thing. You know, does it affect all the units? So this is where James slightly takes a wee change to things. He says, ideally, yes, you'd have to do all the defence rolls before reducing eliminating units, which would be a pain, especially with multiple defenders. So feel free to overrule me and do what works for you the best. The bots are pretty flexible. And before I finish this last bit off, which is quite important, but I think what he's saying there is it's difficult to implement that into his app. As I've said, you'd have to know how many units were defending, and then, you know, he'd have to change things about. But I think he does say here, let's finish this off, because this is his last sentence here is, personally, I'd probably reconsider my answer and make concealments only affect the units after the concealment was revealed, not retroactively. But don't want to cause confusion with the rules as written. So it sounds like he's now changing his thoughts on that and saying that maybe it should be done as the way that Hal believes. He says, I may have to add an extra button to the digital bot for checks when fire order is played to handle this better. We'll think about it. And yeah, I think he could, I mean, you know, to me, I would know where to start with adjusting that. But it feels like it might be not too much work to like implement something like that to deal with it. And then if he wants it to be that way, then I'm sure he could have it working that way. Or even just state that, because it's a bit unclear. It's not how you play it in the... my battery's down to 10% here. I didn't have it plugged in, so we'll see how we get on. Yeah, it's not quite clear. Anyway, Hal says, thanks, James. Your bot is making the game very fun for me. Thanks for this excellent piece of work. And it is. It's good work. And then I think James... thanks him for that response. So let's. So I replied. Hal sent me a message, and I replied to it. And well, he seemed to concur that James had agreed with the way I was thinking about it. But I would say he changed his tune on it and turned it around to the other way, to be honest. And that's what I said back to Hal. However, I will say what I also said to Hal was. When I was thinking about this, I'm a bit worried my battery is going to go here. Right, when I was thinking about this, well, if it cuts off, then it cuts off, and I'll just need to restart once I get it charged up again. I started thinking, you know what? There's a strong argument to this being the way that Hal's suggesting, because if you think about it, opfire is different to what it normally is, because opfire, like if I go and move this unit to here, the Germans check for opfire, if I go and then move that unit, let's say they fail, right? Well, if they succeed, let's say they succeed, then they fire on that. Then I move again, then they fire on that. Then I move again, then they fire on that. They op fire it each time it moves. If I move from here to here and they check for op fire and don't find op fire, right? Which, well, I started having to think about it fully though, which suggests a same way to how the concealment's working, because it suggests they've not got a fire card in their hand, right? So, and then if I move to there, whereas before in the physical version, you moved to there, they checked, they didn't get op fire, you could then just Todd it on. They didn't check again. However, the digital version says they check there. If they fail, I move again, they check again. If they fail, I move again, they check again. So, and then I started, like I say, thinking, well, that's the same as the concealment, because if it fails there and then it succeeds there, that's as if they've had a fire card in their hand, but they've not played it. Or, I mean, if they've not played it there, why would they play it there? Like with the concealment. However, there are times when maybe you might not want to op fire. You know, this guy might want to become along this wooded sort of line of trees, you know, along here. So we move him into there for one, or well, it's 2 points, but so we move into there. He checks for op fire. It fails. Now, I maybe think, right, he's not got a fire card, let's get out there, let's go towards him. He moves into there. We say, wait now, check for op fire again. It succeeds. I mean, it might fail again, but you know, if I'm playing against another human and I go like that, he says, wait now, yeah, carry on. And then you say, right, he's not got a fire card. I come out there. He says, wait now, op fire. And he plays his fire card. So you could say that the fact that they do get to check every movement point is quite staying with the rules of the game. However, having a concealment card in your hand and us checking for fire on this hex when it's fired upon, there is no reason whatsoever to leave it until you do the defense roll on the second unit or the third unit that I can think of. There's no reason. It doesn't make sense. You play the concealment on the first defense roll, and that's why I think it should be that way. However, like I say, James wants to make his bot do things slightly differently. That's great. So hopefully it does update the rules, keep it going, keep it updated, that digital bot, and then maybe that'll something that'll come in and you'll look at that and maybe make some adjustments or make it clear as to how it's working and whatever. But I'm going to stick with the way that I started doing it. Like I say, doesn't make thematically, yes, the way Hal explains it makes some sense. I think the rules of the game, it makes little sense doing it in the way it's doing it. It'd be different if you were drawing cards in between these defense rolls, so there was a chance of you getting another concealment, but there's not. And then, like I say, my explanation of the op fire is, you know, they could still have the fire card on their hand, but they're waiting for a better opportunity to play it. I mean, to be honest, what could happen is I could go there, they could shoot for op fire, not get it. I could then go from a 0 terrain hex, a -1 terrain hex, into there for a 2 cover. They check for op fire again and they get it. But I mean, that's just the randomness of the ball, you know. But what I'm saying is, if it was the other way about, they'd done that, check for op fire, no, we think, right, they've not got a fire card, let's go, check for op fire, and now I'm in a -1 terrain, where I was in a 2 thinking they had no fire cards on the hand. So that's my way of looking at it. So I'm just going to stick with the way I've been doing it. This scenario's closing in on being finished anyway. And we're getting a beaten, aren't we? The Germans are on 16 victory points. Yeah, and there is a automatic win victory objective, but they need to control all objective hexes, and well, looks like we're trying again to come across here to see if we can do anything about this one, but These three are all controlled by Germans as well, and our force is getting reduced. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to try and play a little bit. Because I don't know how much time I've got just now. It was our turn, right? So they've got, okay, right, yeah. So we've got the advance card, we've got the ambush card. So we didn't get a move card. That was a problem. Because what we want to do now is, well, in fact, do we not need more than one move card? If we're going to do 1, 2, no, 1, ugh. How did we do it the last time in the last unit? I think we went right in there. Yeah, they can't see us from there. If I move into there, they can see us, can't they? Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, they could op fire possibly there. I ended up coming up the back. I must have used an extra move. I think I went 1, 2 and I sat there, and then did I not go 1, 2, and then in the next move I went 1, 2 to avoid them op firing, and well, they weren't actually in that hex, they were in there, weren't they? And then I advanced into the hex, I think. But that's the plan again, I think. Well, maybe not that movement pattern, but the advance into that hex and having the ambush card. So I kind of want to keep the A2 cards. So, I mean, we do have another advance, but then that's got a sustained fire on it. So, it looks to me like I think we should be doing the same old... oh, no, I forgot. The smoke. The smoke. Yeah, that's not going to be a good idea then, is it? Because sustained fire and attack, and we've reduced our fire group by 1 again, so it'd be 6, 7, 8, 2 more for the sustained fire. It's 10, 11, 12. But like I say, I don't think this smoke counts. I think you just count the strongest smoke throughout. Mind you, that's coming through a different hex. I think 12 reduced by 7, so the fire's going to be 5. And they're checking on 12s. That's a waste, isn't it? It is, isn't it? But that's the reason that the Germans put the smoke in there. It's just to slow them down, and so yeah. I wonder if I should just double check smoke. Or will that show you in the? Oh, one thing I wrote down on my phone. Does smoke? I don't think it does. Does smoke affect your morale rolls? I think we need to look up a bit about smoke. Let's see if we can find some rules on smoke. Right, I managed to get my phone plugged in here, so I might be restricted to how I can move that about, but it went red, so I figured it was on its way out. Right, looking at smoke, the first rule relevant is on page 8.1.4 smoke. Only one smoke marker can stack in a single hex. The one with the largest hindrance takes precedence. So, yeah, if you happen to be going to stack a 7 and a 5 in the hex, then you just stack the 7. So, but let me see there's quite a few references to smoke. Right, actually it's on the same page 8, 10.3.4, smoke hindrances. A smoke marker is considered to fill the entirety of the hex it occupies. In other words, a line of sight trace through any portion of a smoked hex, including directly along its hex side, is hindered by that marker. Yeah, I maybe didn't make that clear, but I understood that, and but maybe I should have mentioned that as well, just in case, whereas, line of sight is only affected by the actual graphic of the terrain, and a smoke hex, it completely fills the whole hex. Furthermore, smoke hinders any line of sight traced into it or out of it, not just through it like printed mapboard hindrances. Okay. I'm still not finding the answer to the creation of rounds. Well, hold on, Grant. Yeah, if you look at hindrances, it's going to clarify it for you, isn't it? Yeah. In fact, the rule before that, 10.3.3, explains that. Hindrance modifiers. Hindrances are not cumulative. The single largest modifier is used, and this modifier does not become greater if the number of hindrances between the site and the target axes is greater than 1. Yeah, okay. So that's fine. From there to there, we're going through this hindrance, we're going through that hindrance, well, into that hindrance. We ignore this one, we take the strongest one. It's the same as when we were firing through the field and the fence. That's a 1, that's a 1. You take the strongest one, which is a 1. So that's the same, right? Fair enough. But that, however, reminds me of I eventually got the answer to it was from Scott. Let's yeah, I better get his comment up actually, because where am I looking here? Right, hang on, pause just now. Yeah, it's a comment from Scott in part 7. Demolition's action is used to remove a fortification from a friendly hex. Okay, I read that, understood. Well, I say I understood that. I thought there must be something that I was missing. Remember, wire and mines are classed as fortifications. It's near the back of the rulebook. So there you go, wires and mines. The other act, it'll be in the terrain. So, oh no, it's not. It's fortifications. There are 6 fortifications in the game: foxholes, trenches, mines, wire, bunkers, and a pillbox. Right, foxholes, trenches, bunkers, and a pillbox. They all sound beneficial. Mines and wire, So there you go. That's how you want to get rid of them. Removal of fortifications may normally only be eliminated during play via various events, the demolitions action, or an artillery impact roll. No more than 1 fortification marker in any type may ever occupy a single hex. Yeah, so there you go. If you've got mines in your hex, or if you've got wire in your hex, there's your use for your demolitions. So thanks very much, Scott. I knew there was an easy explanation of that. It's just maybe I should have went looking for it for myself, to be honest, but got lazy there. So thank you anyway. Okay, but so back to here, and where are we? Right, what was I doing? Well, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, so the smoke kind of makes the attack worthless, really. So do I use this other advance maybe to move this guy 1? Is that silly? Does it get him? If he moves to there and then I get a move card, remember he's got 4 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I did move him there, it would give me 2 more move cards to get to there. However, 1, 2, 3, 4, then they possibly op-fire us. I've still got to get adjacent. Well, hold on. If I move that here just now, I can then go 1, 2, 3, 4. They're getting 2 op-fire opportunities, but that's only taking us a 1 move card to get adjacent. But this is riskier, whereas coming round the back there is not. Well, why don't you just advance a 1 hex and see? You really need to draw a move card. See, the thing is, the Russians can't really hang about. I mean, that's why putting that smoke on was pretty. It was a good idea, wasn't it? And it even gets me thinking. Well, I need to charge down here, but again, I need move cards for that as well. And my problem here was. No, I did say that I only need to occupy the 2 hexes, because I would only be going in with 2 squads and a leader at most. I think going in with more than that's a bit suicidal because of the stacking limits. Well, that's not a terrible thought as well. And while that smoke's there, me moving down here is going to restrict the op fire, isn't it? But I do need move cards. Well, then you might say, do you not want to keep this extra advance card you've got? But then Then I'm left with 2 fire cards in my hand, so what I'd be doing is discarding 2 fire cards. Which feels, well, you know what, it feels wrong, but these can't fire. So why keep fire cards in your hand? I don't know. I think if I did her here, I'm gonna. It's just gonna come to another time trigger, and well, more than white. Well, it depends on the sudden death draw, right enough. Right, okay, it does feel a bit yucky, really, but I'm going to use the advance then, and just advance this unit into there. Yeah, I could see that not being the right idea. Well, I'll tell you what, it's either I do that or discard or discard this and the other 2 fire cards to look for move cards. Whereas if I draw a move card now, yeah, let's do that. So that's me, had my order, that's me done my turn. I'm going to draw back up, looking for a move card, and get another fire card. Yeah, well, now it looks like I'm going to be discarding 3 fire cards next turn. Which is not what I've been doing throughout this game, but right now, is this wire going to cause me trouble? Alright, we're okay. It might tilt the camera a little bit. Right, so back to the bot. Let's reveal an order. Ability denied is not any good, so skip. How did that? That must have been a defense roll I clicked instead of skip current order. Damn it! That's my big chunky fingers. It was, wasn't it? Because it's rolled the dice. Well, there's nothing I can do about that now, because I can't go back and skip the order now. It's moved on. I can't. You just can't see me undo, can you? I think a lot of apps are like that, aren't they? I know some of the other ones that I've used. What is it? Descent. Descent. I've not got the newest one. Was it Descent Journeys in the Dark? They brought out an app for that. And I think I had issues with that as well. You clicked something wrong and you weren't able to sort of change it. They might have been updated better now as well, but okay, I'll just need to move on. So reveal next order. It's fire. I still think they've actually got a fire, but it's rather weak, isn't it? Yeah, let's say I think we've done it in the last part. Well, actually, I never thought about attacking my hand, but I think we're going through the one smoke hindrance, aren't we? Well, mind you, you're going through the fence anyway, Grant. But it's going through this hex. Remember, this hex is completely full of smoke. So there is going to be a 1 hindrance. It wouldn't matter. We'd get it from the fence anyway. So that'd be an attack of 4 on that. So actually, I think that works out. I would say that maybe works out better. What is this? This is 6, 7, 8 minus 7. Yeah, it's only 1. Yeah, so it clearly is still better attacking with this. 4, 5. Yeah, so we'll make an attack with this on this, and it's a firepower of 4. It's not great, I know, but that's all I've got at the moment. So 4, and we're going to draw some dice. 4 and 6 is 10. No triggers. So he's got to check. He's already sitting at 10, so he's fine, but he does need to draw a card. And drawing more cards is better for the gems right now. Well, here's an event though, so he's okay. He's going to be okay, but we need an event first. The event is suppressing fire. Suppress 1 enemy unit in a hex with both range and line of sight of a friendly machine gun. Well, that's pretty good. Suppress 1 enemy unit in a hex with within both range and line of sight of a friendly machine gun. Well, that's his only friendly machine gun. This hex is in range and line of sight of it. So I think that hex is the only option, and it's 1 one enemy unit. So it can be either or. Yeah, I think we do that, don't we? Because it means he can't then use his machine gun. I'll leave that on top as well. Yeah, so we suppress his medium machine gun. Although, not that he was using that to fire. This was his better fire opportunity, wasn't it? While that smoke's there. But this guy can't, although he's got the range on that, he can't see it because of this corner of the woods. And that would have been the better option, actually, because then that cuts his range down to 4, and then he can't reach. But he cannot see that. So, okay, so the 7 was good to keep that guy fine. Just coming back here, but I think that's the bot finished. He's finished. So back here, and there's a hand of 4 fire cards and an advance card. This one's got the ambush on it, so we really need a move card. Yeah, these fire cards aren't any good. As much as it pains me to think I'm discarding 3 fire cards, because there could only be so many in the deck, and we don't really want to shuffle the deck again because. But should I not discard them all? Should I maybe just discard 2? No. The problem is we actually need a time event to get rid of the smoke, or some other event that gets rid of it. I think we did come through an event once that removed a smoke, or was it remove a fortification maybe, or a blaze? It might have been a blaze thing or something. I don't know. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, we need the deck shuffled to get rid of that smoke to be able to continue trying to fire on that hex. Or we need some move cards to get down there and go in. So I did get rid of that other advance. So I'm going to discard 3 fire cards. Which feels a bit weird, but and we're going to draw back up. Right, there's a move card. So we would have got on the first one. Great. Well, there's a fire card back. Concealment and another fire card. Well, another ambush. Oh my. That's just got 2 ambushes. Okay. Right, I think we're going to go for something. I think we should go for the big hex. Yeah, right. Well, it's not our turn, so. Oh yeah, and hold on. I counted wrong. I didn't put a comment in this the video. Oh, actually, it might have been part 9. I'm talking about it. I counted this as being worth 8 points. Well, it's not. It's 1 for the officer, the 1 for the leader, plus whatever his command rating is. So that's 2. That's 3. Then it would be double. So it's 6, not 8. I think that's right. Does it not tell you one of these player aids? Yeah, a leader is 1 plus X victory points, whereas X is equal to its command value. Yeah. So that's 3. It's worth 3 normally, but because of our objective, it's worth 6. And I said it was worth 8. Which is kind of important because if that was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, well, they're on 16 victory points. So I was thinking that would tie us up, but that's not quite the case. That's 6, 10, 14. So they'd still be on 2 points. But at least that would make it a bit more respectable and give us a possibility. But that's wiping out all 3 of the units. But the cards that I've got in my hand now are starting to make me think that we can maybe go for that. So reveal next order for the bot. Here we go. Fire with bore sight in. Why is it picking bore sighting all the time then? It can't have bore sight, and then James has been made aware of this, and I'm sure that'll get changed as well in his next revision of the bot. I did say that if I got this again, I was going to change it to one of the other ones. But this is a different to the physical version and the digital version as well. The physical version, you as a player chose the best option for the bot. You just had to choose which was best for him, not for yourself. You had to choose the best one. Whereas that's not an option here. It's just automatically selecting one, which is a bit tricky because, well, bore sighting shouldn't be coming up at all because we're not the scenario defender. But these other ones require, I mean, how do we, if it comes up with hand grenades, and hang on, we've had one come up with hand grenades. So if it comes up with hand grenades and you're not adjacent, then that's no good to you either. But there's nothing to suggest in this digital version that you should choose something different. I mean, you know what, you could play it as you see fit, I suppose. But bore sighting shouldn't be coming up. Crossfire, is that not a moving target? That one's being adjacent. That one needs... Oh, hang on. Crossfire says it requires op fire, which means the target needs to be moving. That's what that means. So I mean that's not applicable right now. Neither's that. Spray fire is having boxed range, which they do have, and that would be targeting 2 hexes. Which actually would work in this game. I mean, the fire's going to be a firepower of 4, but that actually would allow that unit to attack 2 hexes. Not that one would be a waste of time, really, to be honest. But it would be able to be applied. Sustained fire would not, because we would not be able to be firing a machine gun. Marksmanship, bot is German or Britain. Yes, that would apply as well. So the only 2 ones that work there are spray fire and marksmanship. So I did say when the bore sighting came up that I would change it, but then I thought, well, it's bore sighting that he's got in his hand. That's the card that he's got in his hand. He's not got marksmanship. He's not got spray fire in his hand. He's got bore sighting. I mean, okay, it can be applied because he's not the defender, but yeah, I think I'm just going to leave it and just cancel out the bore sighting and just do the fire action. Fire command. Order, sorry. Action, command, order. So, yeah, I'm just going to do it that way. Maybe that's another question that could be worthwhile asking, James. Yeah, I think I could jot down a few words, which I'll go and do just now. Hang on. Right, I went and popped the question out there. I actually think it wasn't maybe worthy of asking, to be honest. It's quite clear, I think, that if you can't do the action that's attached to the fire order, you should just carry out the fire order, not. I suppose the fact that the bore sighting is there and shouldn't be there, but hopefully he's going to fix that. So what's going to come up in the future? It's never going to be bore sighting, but it could still be, right now it could still be fire with hand grenades. And if I'm not adjacent, I suppose the fact that you were able to choose which one was best for the bot previously, but then the die roll to get was different depending on which one you chose. So maybe there's a bit more involved there, isn't there? Anyway, okay, well, we'll see what comes. I mean, I think he comes back with that and just saying, if you can't do the action, you just do the fire order as normal. That's the best you get. Okay. Hang on. Right, so it's just a normal fire order. It's just going to be the same again. So this guy firing 4. Yeah, other 4. Firepower. We're going to draw dice. It's only a 4, which is not going to do anything, unfortunately, for them anyway. So it's 8 they're getting hit with. He's sitting at a 10. Again, going to draw another card though. Gets a 6, so that's fine. That was just, you've got to go through the motions. So nothing doing there. I do think this was the first order, so reveal next order. Recover. Well, actually, yeah, that does work for him. I was going to say no, he's not got anybody, but yeah, they got suppressed. Not that it really matters because this can't really fire, so suppression comes off, but he's nobody to rally up, so that's all that happens. And then reveal next order is going to be finished. Right, now, okay, this could be a big one then, because although I was building up with this this advance and this ambush, building up to head across here, and we've got a move card in our hand. We can actually go 1, 2, well, hang on, we're probably better going 1, 2, 3, and then 4 into there. Then adjacent, next turn, we advance into that hex and we've got an ambush. Well, Sun's drawing a second ambush, so that would then be able to, now I don't know if you can pick on the same unit twice with ambush. Your opponent must break one of his participating units. So it's opponent who gets to choose, I think. So if he chooses the squad first, he might choose the captain second, I suppose. Or he could maybe just take out the captain and keep his 5 strength squad, couldn't he? Because he knows that we're coming in with 5 strength. Yeah, so I think that's probably what would happen though. Anyway, that can all happen in the space of 2 turns, assuming that they don't get an op fire on us and do some serious damage to us. But drawing that second ambush really got me thinking that this is a more important hex, and why not do just what we're talking about there, and the fact that smoke's still here, yeah, this feels like we should be going for it here. We shouldn't we? I mean, I decided before that smoke did not do anything in a hex with melee, and in fact fortifications full stop did not do anything. Not that smoke's a fortification, but similar things that would cause trouble with normal fire, they don't affect in melee, which thematically makes sense. Yeah, you could argue a little, I suppose, that there was smoke maybe, but it would affect both parties of the melee, wouldn't it? Same as terrain. Well, yeah, it depends who's in what bit of the building, whatever. But let's not. The game doesn't go into that much detail, does it? So what would we move down here then? And would they still check for op fire? Well, their op fire would be 6, 7, 8 minus a 7. So their op fire would be a 1. It is still an op fire though. They would still check on it because it is above 0. But the likelihood of pulling that off. But then we are moving into the, yeah, but our morale's like 8 and whatever, and if we keep these guys together, well, what would you want to go in? Would you just want 2 squads to go in? I think so. I don't even think I want the leader to go in. Why don't we just maybe move this and this? Because the other one, the machine gun's got a -2 for its movement, so. And just keep the sergeant back there then? Does that make sense? Well, maybe not, Grant, because they really probably want to be in command, don't they? Yeah, when they're adjacent, when I want to advance them in, I need to be within 2 of them. So I would need to move this guy at least 1 hex forward. And ideally you want to keep them as a fire group, don't you? So is it silly to be doing this? Is it maybe better to be doing it this way? I don't think so. I don't think we've got the time. I think, let's say this works. Well, actually, it's worth a lot of victory points. Let's say this works. We eliminate both them, so that's worth 4 points, that's worth 4 points, and that's worth 4 points, because the control objective. So that's actually 12 points. They're at 16. Then, don't get me wrong, if we come down here, we're getting 6 points for that, 4 for that, that's 10. The objective doesn't matter. So that's 10 points. So, yeah, I suppose the decision is, we bring this guy across, we take our, what was it, 12? 4, 8, 12. We take our 12 points. We then have potential to move that guy off the map. We then get lucky with the time trigger, with the what is it, sudden death roll, and then start attacking on this again. And then, if we get the guy off the map, that's our 2 points, 12, 14. They're at 16. But if we come down and take that, then we've got a chance of getting all these guys off the map and maybe come up for that. 2, 4. No, hang on, he'd be worth 3 to exit the map. So 2, 4, 6, 9 points exiting the map. On top of the 10 that we've just taken there. That's better. I think this is the better idea, isn't it? Because we're having to wait on another sudden death trigger if I do it the other way. And if that comes up that the game ends, then that's it wasted. Okay, my mind's made up. Right, let's do it. So I'm going to play a move card, targeting, I'm activating Sergeant Kovalev, giving him a move order and he's going to activate all 3 squads. So the sergeant and the medium machine gun are going to stay together. Remember, he's got a movement -2 +2, so he can move 4. And this guy's going to get to op fire though as well. Well, can't I keep? Well, I can bring 1 unit down into there, but the other one's going to be in here, isn't it? Okay. Right, when we check for op fire, we're going to use this guy, aren't we? Yeah, well, hang on. You click, if you get alt fire, Grant, you then, well, no, he can activate him as well, can't he? So they can be both activated for op fire. It's just they can't be a fire group. So that could fire, and then that could fire as well. And remember, that's cycling 3 cards in the guy in the Russian, the German deck, which is probably what they want. They want to rush ahead here. Okay, so this guy's going to move first. He's got 4 movement points. That's maybe crazy. I don't know. And plus, he's moving into a -1. This is the more dangerous part, I think, but I think we've got to go for it, right? Let's go for it. So I'm going to spend 1 of his movement points down to 3 to move him from there to there. He's got 3 movement points left. These are all still activated to move, remember. Right, and the German's going to say, right, hang on just now. We're going to check for op fire. I mean, both these are in line of sight and range. So we can check for op fire. That's at least 2 hexes away from both of them. So we're going to roll. And if they get this right away, it's going to be a problem. So range +2 we're clicking. Here we go. Right, no op fire as of yet. Good. First steps, okay. And that was the most dangerous hex, I think. For him, anyway. So... I wonder, is range adjacent? I wonder what the difference is there. Just, if the odds are higher that if I move adjacent, we have to click that range adjacent box. Maybe I should... Oh no, hang on, do I not need to finish moving this guy? I think I do, don't I? I can't interrupt his movement with... Yeah, that's more than likely not how it works, Grant. I'm pretty sure it's going to tell me I've got to finish moving. I don't know why I'm looking this up, to be honest. The one exception is that activated units begin a move order in the same hex. Maybe no, it's not that. I'm sure it tells me here. Probably tells you at the very beginning. Oh, come on, Grant. Timing and movement. No. Ah, that is there. It's in moving together. It says the movement of one unit must be completed in its entirety before another activated unit can begin moving. The one exception is when the units are moving together. Right, okay. I knew it was there, but... Okay, so we can't decide. We've got to move this guy completely. Okay then. So we're only going to move him one more, and we're going to move him into here. And then they're going to check again for op fire. But this time we're going to check on the range adjacent box rather than the range 2+, because, well, one of the firing units is, in fact, the other one's now going to have to be crossing the smoke, so that's pretty good for us. So let's see, range adjacent, here we go. Right. Oh, it's caught with hand grenades. That's why it's saying adjacent. I did wonder about that. I thought, right, so now they've got op fire for the rest of my movement, okay? And for this op fire itself, okay. Well, he's going to activate both of these units to op fire, right? Even, and they can, well, actually, hold on. Well, yes, he can activate them, but at the moment, I don't think he can see that. I'm saying the smoke's going to block it out, but the building's clearly going to block that out, isn't it? So, yeah. So, although I'm activating this guy for opportunity fire, he's now sitting waiting, and any other movement that a unit comes into his line of sight and range, he'll be able to fire on. He, however, won't be able to fire on that. These will. So they're firing with hand grenades. So we've got 6 for the machine gun, +2 for the leaders, 8. +2 for the machine guns is 10. Hang on. The fact that it's a machine gun, that's... The hand grenades alright with that. Hand grenades will only be played just prior to the player making a fire attack roll, and only if at least one piece is firing at an adjacent hex. Yeah, that's fine. I don't know why you were. I guess because it was a medium machine gun, I was thinking do this, but yeah, that's fine. So 6, 7, 8, and then 2 for the hand grenades is 10. However, we've got hundreds of 7 here, so the attack is only going to be 3. But as morale, it is only going to be 8, because that's all he's sitting in. And yeah, as far as I believe, the smoke doesn't do anything to help that. So it's an attack of 3, are we sure? 6, 7, 8. 9/10 of the hand grenades. But the hindrance that we put in there ourselves is causing us trouble. So that's reduced to 3. So the attack roll is going to be 3. Firepower is going to be 3. Right, here we go. We need to draw some dice. Right, it's an event. So it's 10. So I'm going to mark the attack die there with 10. And then we need to draw an event. Interrogation. That's a card, isn't it? When this event occurs, opposing player must show there's... Oh, that's pretty bad. So he's going to be able to discard one of our cards. It's going to be one of the ambush cards, isn't it? Although, look, he's only got the one advance. Oh, that's a toughie. I mean, thing is, he's... Well, I tell you what, I think discard piles are open information. Pretty sure they are. There's 1 advance in the discard pile. 2. So there's 2 advance cards in the discard pile, and this is where this would become... Now, I want to see if I can find... There is something that tells me the contents of the decks. Now, I know this is maybe another gamey little thing. Now, where would this be? Would it be in the playbook, maybe? Not at the beginning, anyway. Right. Allied code. No, it's random scenario generator. Could it be on the little cards that they've got? Maybe. I think this is probably quite important. And if you were playing against somebody here, and here we go. I would have to assume, I mean, I can check about discard piles, but I would have to assume that these are open information as well. Right, we're not playing with Americans, so these are open information too. Like that. I suppose that might not be the case. Well, I think it has to be, because people that play this game, I think this is played in competitions, isn't it? You're going to know how many of each card that they've got. It's a bit like, going back to Magic the Gathering and trying to, not so much count cards, but, well, to an extent, yeah, you mean, Magic, you're only allowed 4 of one card, you can't have any more than 4, but not that I'm saying there's any great Magic the Gathering player, but some of these things did come into that, even I realised that, well, hang on, he's played 3 of them, he's got 1 left, or, let me see first though, before we do make a blunder here. Discard. Is there a... No. Cards. Discarding. 5.3. Might tell us they are. Discard capability. Hand refill. No. I do feel like I read something, but I'm a bit worried because I made a blunder already thinking about it from the other game. Although that other game doesn't have cards in it, so... Hang on, let's see if I can find what I'm looking for. How about Card Knowledge Grant? Page 3, 1.2. That sounds like it's going to be it, innit? Here we are. Cards in a player's hand are kept secret from his opponent. Right, okay, we're playing solo here, so... But this card, this event that we're playing allows us to look at the player's hand, so... Cards in a player's draw pile are kept face down, secret from both players. Cards in a player's discard pile are public knowledge and may be examined by either player at any time. So, yes. It was just that other thing that shows you how many actions, events, orders... Yeah, I'm going to just assume that we are allowed to actually look at these. So looking at the Russians, that's what the Germans want to do. What's that in the back? That's just your orders in the back, right? So that tells you about how many they've got. 6 ambush cards on their deck. But what is it we wanted to look at? Advance cards. Wait, why is that? Ah, they're on the back. These are the actual orders. So they've got 6 advance cards as well. Right, and that's what I was looking at. There's 1, 2. Was there 2 in the deck or 3 in the deck, and there's 1 in his hand. 1, 2. Yeah, so to be honest, there's still 3 in his deck. So yeah, I think that then tells you that you're going to discard one of the ambushes in it. Because I mean that's what okay, I know that's what I'm setting up to do, but it's quite clear he's moved adjacent. You're looking at his hand, you see advancing 2 ambushes in his cards. You know what he's going to do. Eh? So we're going to discard one of these, I think. And I mean, I know by doing this just now, it means next turn he would then not be able to carry out the advance and then the 2 ambushes. But, well, not really, because he might draw another advance card, and there's 3 of them still in his deck. And this is safer. If they ambush me, flip my lieutenant probably, or we'll see. Yeah, so I'm going to discard that, or for the Germans anyway. Right, and the roll was a 7. We've got the dice set at 10. Now, that's only 10, but remember, his morale is 8. He's not on the road, so his terrain benefit is 0. So, only a double 1 is going to affect him. So we'll draw for that. He gets a double 3 and a sniper. So that fire is fine, but we do need the sniper. So they're all quite important right now. Hex A8 is down in the corner, down here. So nothing doing there. So he's fine. And like I say, this guy's activated fire, but can't see him. Okay. So then we carry on our movement. But remember, op fire is now active. So whatever happens here, they can fire up. It doesn't, yeah. I'm just going to have to bring this guy down. I'm going to have to go for it. Well, I can avoid the road. Because if I avoid the road... If I move adjacent to the fence... Well, hang on. Is it not going through the field? If I move to D4... No, I would say it does not catch the field. It's a bit tight, again, catching that edge. And if he's adjacent to the fence, it doesn't give any hindrance. But if I stay on the road, it's going to be a -1, and of course these guys can also fire at that road. Yeah. Well, actually, I think it's better for the Germans. Sorry, I think it's better for the Russians to move into D4 rather than E4, because E4 they're going to fire without any hindrance and get a -1 from that. He's going to fire with a hindrance and get a -1. Whereas he moves into there, they're going to fire with a hindrance and not a -1, and they're going to fire with a hindrance and not a -1. So yeah, the best move is for him into there, I think. Right, so he's got 3 movement left, and then Germans are going to fire. Now, this time they can fire with this and this, and it's a separate attack. So Well, actually, no, he's not going to get hindrance because he's getting the hindrance from the smoke. I still think it was better for this guy though. Maybe not. Yeah, I think it was better staying off the road. Okay, well let's fire with this first. So this is 6, 7, 8, and then the hindrance is 7. So the attack of 1 on him. So we draw dice. Attack of 1 and 9 is 10 again, so not terrible. However, he has got an 8 morale again, sitting in a 0 defensive hex. So it's only a double 1 that's going to affect him. So we draw. It's another sniper. It's a double 2. Quite low rolls he's had. So he's okay, but we need a sniper. G8. Oh, G8. Oh, it was close. Just not close though. That would have been interesting. Okay. So, and then the attack was fine there. So, but I'm also going to opt fire with this guy. And I think I can do this. I think this is okay. Because they were both activated by the lieutenant. They can't fire together. They're separate op fires. So, yeah. So he's 5. But... Oh no, he's not getting a -1, is he? The problem is, if I put the guy on the road, he would have got... The fire would have got a -1, but he would have got a -1, cancelling it out. Well, I suppose it's the same there. But I think it was better for the fire from this guy to be in there rather than there. So it's 5, isn't it? You still got 3 movement left. So 5, and we're going to roll again. Draw dice. I feel like I'm just... Well, might not look like I'm rushing through this, but... I feel like I'm just a bit wary about what I'm doing, but... I think it's okay. So 5, and we're going to draw. 8, yeah, that's 13 this time. 13. Yeah, because he got a better fire factor to start with, didn't he? So 13, he's checking on an 8. So a wee bit more to do this time. He gets a 7 though, so 8 and 7 is 15, so he's good. Right, that's all the op fire up to now. So now he needs to make his way into this hex here, so he's going to get shot an hour twice. So what's a better way to go? If he goes here, that's going to be 100s for the German for there, but it's going to be the 700s for them. If he goes there, that's going to be no hindrance and still the 7. So that's a better hex, isn't it? And it's going to cost them 2 to move over the fence, but that's fine. So 1, 2 leaves them with 1 more movement point. And again, the Germans op fire. So we'll just use this guy again to start with. So again, 6, 7, 8 minus the 7 is 1 again. I know the video's getting a bit long here, but we'll just finish this bit off. So 1 and a 7's 8 only this time. So he's going to be fine. I'll not bother putting the dice because he's got an 8 morale anyway, but we still need to draw a card. He gets a 9 for 17, so he's fine. Sorry, that was this guy firing. And then this one's got a bit better chance, so but he is getting the 100s for going through the field. So 5 minus 1 is 4. Attacking with a 4 this time. Draw dice. He gets a poor roll. So 7, I'll not bother putting dice down again because he's fine. He's on an 8 to start with. We just need to draw again. A lot of cards going away though, and again, well, I knew this would happen. Right, and then finally, he's going to make his last movement into this hex here. So again, they're going to op fire. That's his last movement. This guy again attacking. He's adjacent, but it's not really benefiting him. So 6, 7, 8 minus a 7 again is just going to be a 1. Draw dice. Yeah, no, that's fine. I started thinking I'm doing something wrong there. 9 and 1's 10. So as long as he avoids the double 1. So 10, so his morale roll is an 8 plus another 8, 16. So he's fine, right? This is probably the toughest one to finish him off with. So 5 attacking, and that is a straight up 5. No modifiers, no hindrance. So 5, draw dice. Oh, and it's a 9. This is a bit different. 5 and 9 is 14. So 14, he's rolling, his morale's an 8. So he needs a 7 this time. Who's got the initiative? The Germans have the initiative card. So this is a toughie. So rolling on an 8 needs to beat a 14. Oh yes, 8 and 8, 16. He's good. So we made it. We made it into position. And that was our movement order. And we still got our advance and our ambush. No, we can't fire. I'm thinking, why could we have a fire at them now? But remember the smoke as well, Grant. That's the whole point. Oh, hold on, stop. We're not finished. Because we do need to bring this guy down. Oh, that's annoying, because he's gonna get shot at as well. Can I avoid the fire from him? Oh, hang on, we've got 4 movement. 1, 2, 3. I'd have to move into there, which isn't a great hex, but he would be able to go in there with, so it'd be 1 hindrance, either the fence or the smoke, but he'd be sitting in a good hex, and he'd only be firing with a firepower of 1 again, wouldn't he? So that wouldn't really be a concern. Whereas moving into there is a bit worse, isn't it? Clearly. But the second hex move into there is still only going to give me the 1 hindrance for either the fence or the smoke, and he's sitting on a -1. The other option is we come down there and we end up in there, but that's still moving through the road at some point. It doesn't. Well, yeah, I mean, this is a safer move, because they're at least this is in terrain, whereas they're both of them are not good, are they? Yeah, okay. But I do need to bring these down, I think. So these are going to move together. So they move into there first. That costs them 2 movement points. They've got a total of 2 left, remember, because the machine gun reduces and the command rating increases by 2, so it's 4 that they've got in total. So that's 1, 2. Yeah, I mean, they're going to be sitting on the road. What could I do? It's not another option. Right, so we're going to op fire again with these. 6, 7, 8. Reduced by the 7. So it's a 1. It's a 1 into the woods. It's not. And he's got his leader with him. So we roll, we draw dice. We get a 5, right? Not going to bother with but we need to draw loads of more cards. So checking on the squad. Their morale is the squad is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and the sergeant's is 10. So it's checking on the squad, just looking for triggers really. Checking on the sergeant. Right, you got a double 1. Jam, it's a defense roll, that's fine. But I mean, he was on 10, he's on 12. They were firing with a 6, so yeah, it was never going to hit. The jam doesn't do anything, Grant. No, we don't need to do anything for that. So that was fine. However, this fire, so although I think they're still going to be alright because they've got the leader with them, I think that it's going to be slightly different than that hex bot. So we're firing with 5, but going through a fence and a smoke 1. Oh, wait a minute. Are we not going through the smoke 7 in the next hex? We are. I never noticed that. So that clearly was the right way to come. So, but for this fire, ooh, it's a bit tight actually. Because remember, this whole hex has got 7. So steady hand, which isn't easy. I think that's just okay. Yeah, that one's just okay. But clearly when they move down onto the road, they're going to get the hindrance of 7, which in fact is not going to allow them to fire, because his only fire attack's 5. So they just need to survive this one. So it's 5 minus 1 for either the smoke or the fence, so it's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they are in range. So 4. I'm going to draw a dice. So this is the last chance, really. 4 and 7 is 11, so I'll put an 11 there, but pretty sure that's, well, it's not going to hit the squad. In fact, no, they're both safe. However, we do have an event, so the event is dust. Let me just get the, we've not seen that one before, so dust. When this event occurs, the receiving player must determine a random hex. The receiving player, right, yeah, okay. If that hex is not water terrain and does not already contain a blaze marker, he selects a random smoke marker and places it there. Okay, right, so we've got a random hex. We've no broken weapons, so draw a hex. M3. So as long as it's not water or blaze, M3, I don't think it's, yeah, it's not going to be effective. M3's up here. It's not, so we're going to draw a random smoke marker for it. Well, I tell you what, that gives another smoke marker. So if the Germans, no, if the Russians, no, yeah, the Germans, if the Germans do have to remove a smoke marker, they could remove this one, you know. But that's the whoever triggers the time, isn't it? So was that right, Dust? He selects a random smoke marker and places it there. Okay. Right, and then just checking this last fire. So we've got an 11 fire per attack in here. Yeah, they're fine because he's the squad is 8 plus 2 for the leader plus 2 for the terrain. It's 12. He's drawn an event as well, so we need to do the event first. He's okay though. The event as rubble. Place wire in a random hex. Okay, this is new. Right, random hex is L10. Again, no broken weapons. L10 is, yeah, probably not going to affect things. It's down here. Right, I've not used wire yet, so give me a second. Right, wire. I think that's it. I think these are all the same. It's not going to affect things down here anyway. So you can see it gives some modifiers to things. Yeah, I mean, if it was going to affect us, I'd look more into it. I'm not exactly sure how it works. I think if you move into the hex, you've got to stop, haven't you? Something like that. Okay, that was the event rolled, and he was okay. So we need to check for him. But remember, he's got 8 plus 2, 10. So he just needs to be an 11, which is going to be fine. He's got a sniper as well, though. So another trigger. Sniper and the hex. Jai 10. And that's okay as well. Down here. And there was no broken weapons. That's their fire, their op fire over. These guys still have 2 movement points, so we're going to move down into here onto the road this time. They have one movement point left, but I think they're just going to stop there. Man, obviously moving off the road would be better into this hex, but it's going to give them another opportunity to fire, which I don't think we should give them. Well, we'll move there and we'll keep the one movement point left. So, right, I don't think this guy can fire now because he's got 5, but he's going through the 7 hindrance. So no, he cannot fire. This guy can still fire with 6, 7, 8, -7. So he can fire with a 1 firepower. So this is going to be the last. But, I mean, the fact the guy's with a leader. Right, sorry, because I've still got things plugged in here, it's leaning over a bit. Right, 1, draw dice, 6 is 7. So, yeah, I'm not needing to put down a dice there because he is at 10. He is at 9 because on the road he's at 7. What did I roll? 7. Yeah, it doesn't matter. They're not going to fail because they need a die roll. So he's going to roll. He's at a 9, needs to be a 7. So that's fine. And he's at a 7, needs to be a 7. And all good. So no time triggers either came up there for the Russians went through quite a lot of cards there. Yeah, you shouldn't move this hex, I don't think. I mean, once the smoke goes away, this is going to be a bit more vulnerable. But again, when the smoke goes away, there's a chance. Well, hold on. As I've just noted here, this smoke's only going to go away if the Russians have the time trigger, because they'll want that one moved away. Well, it depends what happens here, though. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I don't think I should move him down here because he's going to have no hindrance as well. So it's going to be a 5 against. Well, he is going to be sitting on he's going to be a 10, he's going to be an 8. But that's a bit risky. I don't think we should risk that. So I'm going to stop them there and just leave them there. No more arc fire. All good. So that went well. And that was them doing a movement order. Yes, that's it. They're done. So I'll get this part finished now. We do need to draw back up. I'm trying to zoom out now. We've got 3 cards. We've got to draw back up to 5. Draw. I was just looking down here for the time trigger. So artillery request is not any good. No action available either. And that's another move order with crossfire. So I don't think any of them help. So that looks like our next possible move. Move in, advance in, use our ambush card, and see how it goes. Okay, no, I'll leave it there. I'm going to come back hopefully later on. And yeah, I think the next part could see a conclusion to the game. Maybe not, it might move on still. It could move on. I think we're probably going to see another sudden death roll in the next part. But that's not to say that the die it's going to be up to an 8. So is it less than an 8? So it's a flip of a coin rule, isn't it? Right, I better cut this one for now. It's closing in on an hour and a half, so it's a rather longer one than the previous. So I'll be back later. Cheers.